right, we're here with DeMarco Farr. How often do people call you by the wrong DeMarco? Be honest with me.
The wrong DeMarco? There's another DeMarco?
DeMarco Murray. There's DeMarco Jones, who I just made up.
I don't think I'm ever going to be mistaken for DeMarco Murray. He's like 100 pounds lighter. But some people, I think Warren Sapp called me Marco Coleman once at a gas station. I had to chase him inside to, look, Farr, we played Pro Bowl, that guy. Oh, yeah! And then he walked off.
So I understand you're with St. Louis now, and obviously you won a Super Bowl with them. Talk about the season that they had. You guys came very close. Sam Bradford, a great rookie year. But that one game against Seattle, did any part of you kind of root for Seattle when they made it to the playoffs?
You know what? I think so. On the afternoon drive show that I do, I told the St. Louis fans, now that they've beaten the Rams, I think we all need to get behind the NFC West and root for them. I don't think that didn't go over too well. They were still upset about the loss. But one game to make the postseason, and you come up short against Seattle. Nothing against Seattle, but I don't think the Rams played their best football game that day.
You made a comment about concussions earlier, and I don't know how many you may have had or that you know that you had. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers had a couple this year. Kurt Warner, a guy you know pretty well, had a few in his career as well. Just talk about what we know now about concussions as opposed to, just a few years ago we didn't know as much as we know now.
I don't know. I mean, I think we're studying it more. I think that when someone says concussion or I got my bell rung, people take it seriously now. So I don't know if we know more or less about concussions now versus 20 years ago, but it's a little bit different. And I think what we know now is later on in life that concussions can affect you in adverse ways. But I was just having this conversation with a hockey player. There's a St. Louis Blue that's been out, for 2 months with a concussion. And I was talking to a friend of mine that played. He was a tough guy, so all he did was fight. How many concussions have you had? He said it's too many to count, but he kept going back on the ice. That was just the atmosphere then. Concussions and being dizzy, head injuries, didn't keep you off the ice. If you didn't go out there, they would call you a wimp. Now it's just a little bit different. It seems the intensity level has been ratcheted up on concussions.
Talk about lightning in a bottle. I know you guys that year that you won the Super Bowl were hot. Kurt took over, but catching that lightning in the bottle, it looks like Green Bay is kind of going through that right now. The last 5 games just been, dynamite.
Well, I mean, I think it all comes down to which team is playing the best in December and into January. And Green Bay, like you said, caught fire. And I think that all has to do with Aaron Rodgers. Watching him play right now, I mean, I don't know, and you hear a lot, especially around Super Bowls, he's the best quarterback of the last 30 years. I don't know if I can go that far, but I would say he's definitely the best quarterback in 2010 as far as throwing the football, throwing for accuracy, getting out of the pocket, scrambling. I think he might be the second best running quarterback in the NFL next to Michael Vick.
You hear a lot about Ben Roethlisberger that he isn't in the same class as the Tom Brady's and Peyton Manning's because he's got that great defense, even though he's getting his 3rd championship. That being said, you guys ran into a New England team that had a pretty good defense as well, so it's not like Tom's always had bad defenses.
Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger, I think, is a very, very good quarterback. I think he does just enough to win the football game, to win games. He's the perfect Pittsburgh quarterback. Now, he may not be on for 3.5 quarters, but when the game is on the line, he has the presence of mind to realize that this play is going to determine whether we win or lose. And he's always money on those plays.
So you got a prediction for the game? How's it going to end up?
Ooh, you know what? Predictions are rough. I do think this is the 2 best teams in the NFL going at it right now when you look at what they've done through the postseason. I think the neutral field is going to help Green Bay's offense, all that speed. I think it's going to help Pittsburgh's defense. So to me, that's where the game, this Super Bowl, is going to be won and lost. But, either way, if Green Bay wins or Pittsburgh wins, I don't think they're going to be separated by more than a touchdown. This is going to be very, very close.
All right, last thing for you. I'm sure you hear this all the time. Do you miss the Best Damn Sports Show? Because that was a pretty unique, kind of a cool show that kind of like a talk radio / TV feel to it.
Do I miss the Best Damn Sports Show? Let's see. This is where I sat on the set. If I'm looking at Tom Arnold and Chris Rose, you would be Lisa Guerrero. Yes, I miss the Best Damn Sports Show.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You got it.